Cancer is a continuously growing global health problem that poses major challenges, most especially in developing countries. Find out how this international distributor of innovative health products came up with a series of solutions to help increase a patient's chance to survive the odds. In 2020, the Philippines hit a record of 354,398 prevalent cancer cases within a 5-year period. But because of poor access to health care, especially for people living below the poverty line, the advances and breakthroughs in cancer remain unattainable to many.
Cancer refers to a group of diseases that's characterized actually by cell growth, abnormal cell growth and proliferation, inflammation, as well as angiogenesis or formation of new blood vessels. It always starts with mutation in the genome or the genetic makeup of a person inside the cell. Before PPARs, most of my patients, they were unable to finish the chemotherapy regimens because of the side effects and because of discomfort during the process of chemotherapy.
Maria's son Dominic was diagnosed with stage 4 rhabdomyosarcoma when he was only 4 years old. While coping with the recovery of her other sick child, Maria found it hard to accept Dominic's condition.
It was actually very devastating kasi with Dominic, it was manifested mga 4 years old na siya eh. Unlike dun sa daughter ko na congenital talaga, baby pa lang. Yung mga bandang September, meron nang umuumbok-umbok dito sa leeg niya. Hindi ko talagang iniisip na cancer kaagad siya until nag-nosebleed siya.
Dominic was prescribed chemotherapy, but his family insisted to rush to an integrative doctor to seek for alternative cure.
Medyo hesitant ako kasi as a mother, I know the side effects ng chemotherapy kasi. So what I did is that I rushed towards the integrative doctor of my daughter, who happened to be PPAR partner doctor of Simply Nature.
One of the hardest decisions to make for people living with cancer is choosing the kind of treatment that would work best. To help patients and their families deal with this growing health problem, one company commits to producing safe, credible, and natural health solutions by drawing on the latest bioscience technology to deliver a series of safe, efficient, and natural products. What is Simply Nature and what does it do?
Simply Nature is a company we created and founded about 10 years ago. Our mission is to find effective health solutions for people. So we provide natural products that work in combination with conventional therapy and medicine.
As an international company that provides natural solutions for cancer, metabolic syndrome, and degenerative diseases, the management upholds a health philosophy that centers on whole food nutrition as the frontier in health management.
When we talk about choosing treatment, especially in the area of cancer, patients are really afraid of chemotherapy because of its side effects, and they tend to then look towards natural products. But this is not either conventional or natural choice. At Simply Nature, patients can have the best of both worlds. Our protocols work with conventional chemotherapy to minimize its side effects so that they can get the best treatment using both conventional and natural together.
Cancer is like a virus. It continuously evolves, it mutates, so it can develop defenses against our usual treatment modalities like chemotherapy.
Like I said, chemotherapy and radiation therapy have a lot of side effects. So more often than not, patients stop their treatment because of these side effects. It's very important to have the support.
With the supplements that we give the patients, there will be lesser side effects, so they will be able to finish their chemotherapy protocols more comfortably.
This company introduced PPARs, which is touted as one of the best natural ways of solving serious health problems.
PPARs stands for peroxisome proliferator activating receptors. It's basically a nuclear receptor found inside the cells. Now, when these receptors are activated, the benefit that you can get from that is, number one, cellular differentiation. Number two, it's to promote fatty acid metabolism. If you have better insulin function, your blood sugar will naturally go down. And another one is to induce cancer cell death by modulating the immune system.
As a sole distributor of PPARs, the company promotes its use to many reputable health institutions worldwide and actively organizes corporate health conferences and public health talks in Asia.
Simply Nature PPARs is made out of a special strain of these types of microalgae. It is very effective by protecting the bone marrow. We maintain the integrity of the immune system of the patient, which is very important to prevent infections and to fight off the cancer itself. And also, Simply Nature PPARs is also very dense in nutrients so that the patient can recover faster because of better cellular healing.
Sabi ko parang na-lead kami to an extraordinary and I must say amazing journey. I'm very proud of him. At a young age, na 8 years old, he believed that it's his purpose to siguro encourage other people then. We would like to really pay it forward with the knowledge that there's really like Simply Nature that can help people with cancer very much.
When fighting cancer, living healthy is very important because it allows us to pursue what is important to us in life, and that's what it's all about. When we can help a patient move from being bedridden to getting up, to be lucid in thought so that they can have conversations with their loved ones, it gives the whole process of fighting cancer a whole new meaning. And that is what drives us at Simply Nature.
CA markers.
Mataas siya. Then, nung after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad in just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months. Cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo. Like Simply Nature na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yan.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes. It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARs, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory. Salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARs, ako po ay cancer-free.
CA markers. Mataas siya. Then, nung after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad in just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months, cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo, like Simply Nature, na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yun.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes. It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARs, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory, salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARs, ako po ay cancer-free.
CA markers. Mataas siya. Then, nung after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad in just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months, cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo, like Simply Nature, na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yun.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes. It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARs, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory, salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARs, ako po ay cancer-free.
I always prescribe Simply Nature PPARs for these types of patients. Why? The problem with leukemia is cellular differentiation. It is the cells, it is the blood cells, the immature blood cells unable to specialize. Simply Nature PPARs addresses this specific issue because one benefit of Simply Nature PPARs is that it helps cellular differentiation or helps cellular maturity.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Simply Healed with Dr. Jansen.
Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to our part 2 the second episode of our leukemia series. Okay, so welcome everyone. First, take a look at this diagram. Okay, first we will going to be discussing the acute form. Okay, so the acute myelogenous leukemia and the acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Okay, the first two. All right, so next, let's proceed to the symptoms. Now, the symptoms of leukemia is really very common for all types. Okay, so one of the 6 most common symptoms of leukemia patients are fatigue, shortness of breath, fever or night sweats, bruising, bleeding, bone or joint pain, and repeated infections. Now, these symptoms has something to do with the blood cells. Okay, so let me show you. So fatigue and shortness of breath. When do we feel these two symptoms? It's when there is a lack of oxygen that goes into our brain, lack of oxygen that gets delivered to the rest of our body. Okay, so
something's wrong with our red blood cells.
Something's wrong with the red blood cells. Okay, so that is one. All right. So next is bruising or bleeding. This is where platelets come in because platelets is the one that is used to plug in the leaks.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have leukemia, remember platelets are some of the blood components that is not functioning. Okay. So next is bone or joint pain. Why is this the case? Bone or joint pain? It's because we have a cancer of the bone marrow. Okay, where is the bone marrow located?
In your
Inside the
bones.
bone. So that's why you have bone pain because the bone marrow is multiplying. The blood cells are multiplying unrelentlessly. Okay, so that's why you have this. Okay, and another one is repeated infections. Why? Because you have a malfunctioning
immune
white
system.
blood cells. Okay, so you have a lot of white blood cell count, but it is not functioning. It's like soldiers without guns. Okay, so that's why you have these symptoms, and these symptoms are true for all types of leukemia.
All right.
Okay,
that's good.
So yeah, later we're going to show you pictures on what these different white blood cell count look under the microscope.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but this is only for academic purposes. I mean,
but I think that will be rather interesting.
Just
Something visual.
just to fill in our curiosity, but it's not really important for you guys. Okay, so.
But today, Doc, we're gonna focus part 2 on acute leukemia, right? Both the ALL and the AML.
Okay.
And within each category, there are actually a few types of leukemia.
Yeah. For each category, so first we're going to be discussing the acute forms. So the acute forms has a commonality, but there are also differences between them. So first we will be discussing what is common between these two, okay, and what are the differences later on. So remember,
will we be covering treatment as well today?
yes, we'll be covering treatment, prognosis as well. Okay.
All right, so let's jump straight into
Okay.
ALL.
Let's start with ALL. So remember in the previous video, I showed you the age group, no? The age groups where these specific types of leukemia are more common. Now, first we tackle acute lymphoblastic leukemia, the leukemia where we can our children can the leukemia where
It's most common
in. Okay, so now. Yes, acute lymphoblastic leukemia is the most common cancer in children. Most common type. It is also the most common type of leukemia. Okay, so once we get a complete blood cell count, okay, so once we get a blood draw, what can we see? Okay, so we can, of course, we can see an increase in amount of immature or blast cells. From its name, what do you think is the immature cell that is increased in this type of leukemia? Okay, so comment down below, huh?
Okay, I was about to give the answer. All right.
Okay, so in its name, it's the lymphoblasts.
Yes.
Right. So it is the one that is numerous in amount. Okay. So next, what we can also find pancytopenia. So what does pancytopenia mean? So we have three adjectives here. Okay, actually. So pan meaning all. Cyto or meaning cells, and penia which means decreased. So pancytopenia means that all your blood cell counts are decreased. Okay, so you have decreased.
Big word for simple.
Yeah. Okay, so because your doctor might mention this in the diagnosis, and you might be wondering what does this mean. Okay, so this is also important for you to know. Okay, so pancytopenia just means that you have decreased red blood cells, decreased white blood cells and decreased platelets. That's why you feel fatigue because of anemia. You have repeated infection because of the abnormal function of the white blood cell, and you have bleeding and bruising or bruising because of the decreased platelets. Okay? And mind you, the white blood cell count doesn't have to be so high. It can actually vary between less than 10,000 to more than 100,000. But it is also very important for you to know this, because if you have a white blood cell count of more than 100,000, then it tells you that you have a worse prognosis. Okay? Prognosis is not good. Alright? So, what I have just mentioned is also true for acute myelogenous leukemia. The only difference is, in acute myelogenous leukemia, it is the myeloblast that is abnormal. Okay? It is the myeloid stem cell that is abnormal. Okay? So, just remember that. So, next, let's proceed to the risk factors for you to get ALL. Alright? So, what are some of the risk factors? Is number 1, chemotherapy. Yeah.
I thought chemotherapy is the solution to cancer.
Yeah, chemotherapy is actually a double-edged sword in that way as well. So, as a kid, receiving chemotherapy, you can also develop a side effect that can lead to leukemia. Okay,
also, you could be having let's say nose cancer,
yeah,
and you're using that as a treatment.
Yeah. So remember, leukemia is an abnormality in the genetics. So if you receive chemotherapy, that can also make some changes in your genes. So that's why you can also develop leukemia out of it. Okay. And and your bone marrow can try to compensate against the repeated destruction of the blood cells. That's why it can produce more and more cells as a way of compensating. So it can produce a lot of immature white blood cells. Okay. So next is radiation exposure. All right. So this one we have mentioned radiation exposure, benzene exposure, or exposure to smoke, Hodgkin's lymphoma as well. If you have Hodgkin's lymphoma, then there's a good chance that you can also have acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and some congenital disorders like Down syndrome. Okay. Now, where does this metastasize? Okay. So this specifically metastasizes to the liver, spleen, lymph nodes. Okay, and mind you, once you feel lymph nodes, here,
it's serious already.
Yes, it's already serious because when the lymph nodes are inflamed or big, then we know that the blast cells are already all over your body. It has metastasized already. Okay, but mind you, this is painless. Okay, you have a lump here which is not painful.
Oh, please take note of that. The big lump, but not painful.
Yes.
But it's bad news.
That is bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news. Pain doesn't necessarily mean bad. So
painless doesn't mean good.
Yeah. In this case, painful means good news. Okay. So, yeah. Next is the testes. Yeah. For males, it can go to the male genital organ, male reproductive organ. Okay. And when it metastasizes to the testes can grow and large as well. It can grow big as well. Okay. Next is the cranial nerves. It can metastasize to your brain. It can metastasize to the back of your eye, to the retina, the meninges, the bone, and the gums.
Doc, so we covered the first form of ALL. What's the next form that we'll be discussing?
Okay, the next form that we will be discussing is the acute myelogenous leukemia. But before we discuss that, let me tell you that acute lymphoblastic leukemia has a lot of subtypes as well. Okay, so we have the pre-B ALL, the B ALL, and the T ALL. So remember the diagram again, right? We have specific cells. We have under the lymphocytic branch, under the lymphoid branch. We have the B lymphocytes, the T lymphocytes, and the natural killer cells. Now, we can also have different subtypes as well for this, depending on which becomes abnormal. Okay, but what is important for this is that for TALL, adults that has this can have mass in their chest. Okay,
so it's a lump in their chest.
Yeah, it's a lump in the chest, and once adults manifest the previous symptoms that I have told you and they have a lump in their chest, then they might have an acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Okay? And the differences between these are basically just the genetic abnormalities. So they are a lot, not important for you. So
Let's go to the
So
treatment.
next, let's go to the treatment. Okay? So for acute lymphoblastic leukemia, how do we treat this? So the main treatment for this is chemotherapy. Yeah, because why chemotherapy? Because kids respond so well to chemotherapy.
But we are most afraid of kids going for chemotherapy.
Yeah. Actually, here's the thing. When kids develop acute lymphoblastic leukemia and they undergo chemotherapy, their prognosis is 80%.
80%.
Yeah, 5-year survival, 80%. That is
Wow.
really very high.
That's very high.
Yeah.
That's
Compared to, kids not receiving chemotherapy, then it's almost always a death sentence for them. Okay? So that is basically how we treat ALN.
Doc, when a patient goes for treatment for chemotherapy for leukemia, what is the strategy? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, as parents or maybe cancer patients ourselves, we're just afraid of everything.
Yes.
What should we really be
Yeah.
cautious about?
Okay, now the thing that I am going to tell you is true for all types of leukemia. Okay, because the treatment for the other types is the same. It's
Okay.
pretty much the same. Chemo, imatinib, radiation therapy, etc. No, so if you are undergoing already this type of treatment, very important that you have to keep your liver, you have to keep your kidneys and your heart healthy. Okay, but more importantly, your kidneys and your liver.
What your uncle may not have informed you because it's not his specialty is that you have to take good care when you're going for your cancer treatment for leukemia. Pay attention to your health of your liver and your kidney, especially these two.
Yeah, especially these two, because once one fails, okay, the other two follows. Your kidney and your heart will follow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, if one of those fail, yeah, the other two will follow. It's almost always the case. All right. So how do you take care of it? Okay. So
What's some advice you
Yeah.
can give us on
number one,
Preparing.
Number one, eat a plant-based diet. Okay, a plant-based diet is always good for cancer patients. Do not why a plant-based diet? Okay. Now, if you ask me, is there a direct effect, positive effect that if I eat a plant-based diet, then my cancer will go away? My body will be able to destroy the cancer? No, not really. The reason why I am telling you to eat a plant-based diet is to, number one, stave off the side effect of the chemo. For your body to recover faster as well. And number two, there are no other food that you can eat because if you eat pork, beef, animal food products, dairy products, these foods can stimulate the growth of cancer. Okay, so if you have leukemia, then eating these foods is bad news. Okay, bad news for you. All right, and another one is you have to take. I always prescribe Simply Nature PPARs for these types of patients. Why? The problem with leukemia is cellular differentiation. It is the cells, it is the blood cells, the immature blood cells unable to specialize. Simply Nature PPARs addresses this specific issue because one benefit of Simply Nature PPARs is that it helps cellular differentiation or helps cellular maturity.
Yes,
Okay?
it does. It does.
Yeah. Okay, so that is one of the reasons. And of course, with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, it is just one side of the tree that is abnormal. You still have the myelogenous branch working properly. Okay, so you have to also take care of that branch. So in a way, you also have to protect the bone marrow. Still protect the bone marrow, although it is abnormal. A part of it is abnormal, no? So that you are able to protect the myelogenous branch. So remember the diagram again. So the myelogenous branch, what does it produces? The platelets, the red blood cells, and the innate part of the immune system.
So that's so important.
Okay, so that's why it's really very important. Okay, so next let's discuss the prognosis of acute lymphoblastic leukemia. So how do we know that once you have acute lymphoblastic leukemia, my prognosis is good and my prognosis is bad? So just take a look at these, no? So if you're a kid, no, if you are someone young, okay, so yeah, you have a good prognosis because ALL is most commonly found in kids. Yeah, they have good prognosis and they respond very well to chemo. If your case is a pre-B ALL as well, then it's also good. But if you are already a senior citizen and you develop acute lymphoblastic leukemia, your white blood cell count is more than 100,000. If you have B ALL or T ALL, if you have the Philadelphia chromosome or the translocation between the 9 and 22 chromosome, and then you have a poor response to chemotherapy, then the prognosis is not good.
When you say the prognosis is not good, what should we expect?
Okay, this is what we should expect. Okay, so here are the 5-year survival rates. All right, so for all people, no, on average, the survival rate, the 5-year survival rate is 65% for this type. If you are young, less than 15 years old, 90% survival rate. But if you are more than 40 years old, survival rate is 20%. Okay?
Well, it looks really like for ALL, and the most common patients that get ALL is actually kids.
Yes.
They have a 90% chance of survival.
Yeah.
So do not avoid chemotherapy.
Yeah, it's in your best interest for your kid to undergo chemo. But at the back of our mind, there's almost always that concern that the side effects of chemo. So please use Simply Nature PPARs as an adjunct for their treatment.
Yeah, and we have so much experience with that. It truly does eradicate,
especially for kids.
Yeah, especially for kids. And we have many kid patients, from baby Jian to Dominic, and there are different types of cancer as well. So the good news for all those out there who have pediatric cancer patients.
Okay, so next,
let's move to the myelogenic
let's
leukemia.
discuss the myelogenic type of leukemia. Now, everything that I have just said,
It's the same.
well, it's the same. Okay.
What's the difference then?
The main difference is here in acute myelogenous leukemia, the abnormal one is the myeloblasts. Okay, so take a look at the diagram again. In this type of leukemia, it's the myeloid stem cells that is abnormal. Okay, so what are now our treatment options for this? Okay, so there is a specific subtype of acute myelogenous leukemia called acute promyelocytic leukemia. Okay, so this one is associated with
Disseminated
with
intravascular coagulation. What's that?
Disseminated intravascular coagulation is almost always a death sentence because that is what kills people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's basically your blood all around your body clotting.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So this
It's like
is
you're turning into a statue. I mean, sorry, from my inside.
So your blood will not be able to function normally. It won't be able to carry oxygen to the different parts of the body. It will clot up. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah. So that is death sentence. Now the good news with this is that this type of leukemia is treated using vitamin A.
Oh, just vitamin A.
Yeah, just vitamin A. So with that alone, it becomes if you have this type of leukemia, then the prognosis is really, really good. Yeah. It is one of the cancers that can be treated with vitamin.
Just vitamin.
Just
no
vitamin.
No, this is the exception for leukemia. No need chemotherapy.
No need chemo, no need for anything. If you have this subtype, then vitamin A okay already. So the main treatment for this is supportive care, chemotherapy, radiation, and the targeted therapy using gemtuzumab. Okay. So now you saw radiation therapy here. No? What gives? Doc, you said a while ago that one of the side effects, one of the risk factors of getting this type of leukemia is radiation. Now you're prescribing radiation therapy as a treatment. Yes. Okay, so what is the role of radiation therapy in treating leukemia? It's to sterilize again the bone marrow in preparation for bone marrow transplant or stem cell transplant. Okay, so this is where stem cell therapy comes in handy. Okay, so you have your bone marrow, right? You deliver radiation therapy, you destroy the bone marrow, then the patient undergoes an operation, a surgery to replace the dead bone marrow by a new one. So with the new bone marrow, you will now develop the functioning blood cells. Okay, so that is the concept of this therapy. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So now let's discuss prognosis. So for acute myelogenous leukemia, if you are someone who is less than 20 years old, so young,
69% 5-year survival rate, but if you are more than 20 years old, 27%. Okay?
Wow, again, survival rates very different if you are young. So really for the acute type of leukemia, it happens in kids,
Yes.
and they basically almost a large portion of them, I mean, you just have a good chance of survival.
Yes.
So good news, today's program is, because today we covered acute leukemia, and that happens predominantly in kids. The good news is your kid is probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why I will, but that's only for leukemia, because there are other types of cancer that kids get too, and the prognosis is not as good as leukemia. But if your kid has leukemia, the good news today is that they will probably be fine. So go for your chemotherapy sessions, but as Dr. Jansen shared, there are things that you need to take care of and prepare yourself and keep constant lookout for when you are undergoing your chemo, which is to take care of your liver and your kidney, and also the heart, but liver and kidney. There are many protocols you can do that, and I can see many questions coming up. I'm seeing some questions are like, how do we protect our kidney and liver? All right, so without further ado, Doc, why don't we just go to the Ask Me Anything, and you can really answer the questions that are coming up.
My name is Sheila, and you are watching another episode of Simply Healed Webinars brought to you by Simply Nature. Tonight's episode is yet another special episode, which actually came from a request coming from our viewers. We are now watching the part 2 of our 3-part series of blood cancer webinars here in Simply Nature. In fact, our topic for tonight is entitled Leukemia Variants, Understanding the Different Kinds of Leukemia. I am very sure that you have learned so much once again from our two gentlemen, from Dr. Jansen, Calalan, and of course, Sir Sean Lim. But you know what? We are doing it live right now, and we are still waiting all right, for our two handsome gentlemen who will be answering our questions for tonight. Yes, I can see some questions are coming in, but please just keep those questions coming, all right, because we will try as much as we can, our best to answer as much questions as we can, right? By the way, I just want you all to know that, of course, just like last week, all right, Dr. Jansen will try his best again to once again join our webinar for tonight. But for the meantime, all right, while we are still waiting for our doctor and of course our PPARS expert, all right, I just want to send a very quick reminder, all right, since tomorrow is September 30, all right, it's a payday weekend, so we hope that everybody will be at their have this feeling of that they are in comfort, that their families and of course themselves are always having this boosted immune system, all right, with the help of our Simply Nature PPARs. And of course, once again, I would like to take this very good opportunity to thank our VIPs, all right, once again, because I wasn't here last week, all right, I was having my break, a little break, all right, last week, and as you know, guys, right, the AMA or Ask Me Anything portion were conducted by our dear healthcare specialist, Miss Beth Palma. Thank you, Miss Beth. All right, don't worry, guys. You know what? Miss Beth and of course Miss Jen, our pharmacist, are taking over and also watching over our questions for tonight in order for them to be able to answer back and of course to attend to your health concerns. Okay, of course, for some of you who are who wish to have a consult, of course, with Dr. Jansen Calalan, and is kind of a little bit shy to ask questions on air, that's okay. All right, just type in how to consult. All right. we will be, of course, getting in touch with you right after the program. All right. Now, while we are still waiting for Mr. Sean Lim, our first expert from Singapore, all right, I want you to please once again type down your questions while we are still waiting for them. Okay. All right. Once again, for those who just came in, okay, please don't forget to like and subscribe. All right. Our social media platforms here in Facebook, Simply Nature International, and of course our YouTube channel. There you go. I'm very happy. Hi, Sir Sean.
Okay. Sorry to stress you, Sheila. Both Doc Jansen and I are really, I guess, all over the place. Doc Jansen is right now in the air. So again, to all our Facebook viewers, I want to thank you all for joining us again. And I just want to let you all know that despite everything, we will always put in our best effort to continue to do this service for all our patients and our listeners, which is to provide you an avenue where you can ask your questions and we can answer you and help you. All right. So again, this evening, Doc Jansen is in the air right now. I think he is literally in between Korea and Philippines. He will be arriving back home here in Philippines at about 10 p.m. this evening. So I believe right now he's literally in the air in between. Okay, so tonight I hope you learned a lot, and that's what Doc Jansen would say. I hope you learned a lot tonight, okay? And I'm here to answer questions tonight more on the PPARS area. So me and Dr. Jansen have different areas of expertise. My area is really the PPARS protocol, the science behind that, because I deal with a lot of researchers and scientists, and that's where I specialize in, whereas Doc Jansen is obviously the doctor that answers the questions with regards to your medical questions. So tonight, let's all continue to stay focused about that also. So let's go. Ask me anything question segment.
Yes. In fact, sir, no, I was just telling them a while ago that our topic for tonight is actually requested by one.
Where are the Facebook questions?
Okay. So for the first question that we have here, okay, all right, is Cleansing Plus good for people with cancer?
Oh, wow, that's a fantastic question, and that's one that I can give you a really comprehensive answer. And the first answer is yes, it is. Okay. Now, there are many reasons why Cleansing Plus is a great assistance and beneficial for cancer patients. But let's talk about what Cleansing Plus actually is. It's a dietary fiber. All right, it's dietary fiber. So now, why is dietary fiber so important to cancer patients? Number one, if you are going for chemotherapy, radiation therapy, any of the standard conventional protocols. So now, why is dietary fiber? The conventional protocols, you will find that constipation is one of the major negative side effects that comes with your conventional protocols, from chemotherapy to radiation therapy. All right, so that's one reason why. Next is your gut, or your ability to go poo-poo to the CR, to the toilet, has a huge impact on your physical health. There is a direct impact on your immune system. So if you are constipated, the more obvious negative side effects that many people feel is, of course, feeling bloated, the discomfort. And everybody understands toxins not coming out of your body because there's no outlet for it. All right, so that's very important, because cancer patients, when your body successfully fights against cancer, it will produce toxins. It's like when we go to war, there will be dead bodies, right? A lot of people don't know this. I actually serve in the military, because in Singapore it's compulsory.
Oh.
All right, I'm actually a captain in the Singapore Armed Forces. One of the key things in a successful army is definitely the logistics train. That includes the ability to bring the wounded away from the front line. It also includes, clearing the dead. All right, because in a battlefield, if the dead are left around, infection starts, and that would hurt your body's ability to, the army's ability to continue to wage war, all right? And because there will be infections behind, so not only are you facing the enemy in front, you start to have diseases and infections within your own territory. So that is easy to understand if you consider your body at war when you're going to fight cancer. And the war is not happening in other people's country, it's happening in your own home, in your body. So the ability to remove toxins is very easy to understand how that has a direct impact on your fight against cancer. Now, what are the other things that is not so obvious? Again, removing toxins is obvious, but immune system is not obvious. So there is another episode that we're preparing where we will really examine the biochemistry, or what actually happens in your body that feeds and supports your immune system. To many people's surprise, going to the CR, going to the toilet, poo-pooing, has a direct impact on many aspects of your immune system. So look out for the episode where we will talk about what actually happens, how does it interact. Just an example for those who are weight loss oriented, all right? Even though today we are talking about cancer. Did you know that your body's fats, okay, are actually recycled in your body? That means your body has the ability to remove fat, but if you don't remove it from the system, it goes back in. Okay, and then your body actually produces cholesterol. So all this aspect has got to do with your bowel movements too. So if you don't have good bowel movement, your fats actually get recycled back. So sometimes you are successfully able to burn the fat, but the burnt fat like sort of reconstitute and goes back into your body. Okay, so if you don't take it out. So again, this is another example where people don't realize. They always think just going to the CR, remove the food that you eat so you slim down. But there's actually the chemistry part of a lot happens in your GI, your intestines, right? And dietary fiber is a key component. Now next, another thing that's so important to everybody, and I think everybody's feeling it now because of COVID, all over the world there is a higher incidence rate of depression. I think that might be one of the many reasons why there are things like the Great Resignation all over the world. People feel disillusioned with their life. People wondering what in the world are they working so hard for, and things like that. It's kind of a strange phenomena, and one of the reasons could be also, mental health. 2 years of not being able to do anything affected our outlook in life. One of my great mentors told me there's no such thing as a lazy person. Nobody is lazy. Everybody has the potential to be a great achiever who works hard. The only thing is that when we don't have a clear goal in front of us in our life, we manifest these negative attributes, right? So I talked to my team here in Simply Nature. I gave them an example. How many of you will wake up at 3 a.m. this morning? To all our listeners, I will just ask you, how many of you will wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning? But what if I tell you I'm just going to put cash 200,000 peso in the middle of Legazpi Park, all right, in Makati City. I'm just going to put the cash there and I'm going to walk away, all right? There will be no security guards, no cameras. For sure, many of you would be already waiting there at 12 midnight, waiting for the next 3 hours to see me come and put the cash there and walk away, and you'll be the first one there to get the cash, right? So again, you will wake up so early, or you won't even go to sleep. You will be at Legazpi Market because you have a clear goal, all right? And that's another reason why on our health talk here, Simply Healed, we always encourage all our listeners and viewers to know that you can beat cancer. You can. There is reasons for you to fight, all right? There is a positive outcome there, so that you will have the motivation and the clarity of your goals. For some of us who are slightly older, or we are in difficult late stage cancer, Dr. Jansen and I always tell you there are things still worth fighting for. For example, the quality of life. I can tell you from first-hand experience, right? First-hand experience. My partner in Singapore, her father-in-law was given 3 months to live because he had lung cancer. Only 3 months, right? It ended up being 1 year because he was on pipa powder extract. In that 1 year, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Oh, trust me, it was worth it because her father-in-law gained strength as time went by. No more treatment from conventional medicine because the oncologist said that there was nothing to be done already. They've tried everything. It was the same as my grandma who was put in hospice because she had leukemia. They were literally just waiting for them to move on or to return to the Lord, right? But what happened? That extra 9 months, what did my friend in Singapore experience? She was able to go on tour with her father-in-law. Can you imagine? A cancer patient went on one last tour. She shared that she wasn't really very close to her father-in-law, but because of the extra 9 months, and the father-in-law gained strength. So the last 9 months, he was not bedridden. He was not. He was like many of our testimonies and patients of Dr. Jansen, who was bedridden but now went out shopping. You know, the one that Dr. Jansen always talked about. Yeah. So you can imagine, was it worth the fight? Oh, definitely worth the fight, right? The dad was able to have weekend dinners with her and her husband, who is his son. Their relationship got repaired. She got so close to her father-in-law in that 9 months. They went on tour together. I think, here on our program, we just want to share with everyone, you know, no matter what the issue is, right, that is something worth fighting for. And I hope that you are encouraged when you hear our programs, when you hear me and Dr. Jansen talk, and that you become interested in learning all these things that we share with you. And then not only that, you will take action, all right? So that you can, that is something worth fighting for. There's something you can gain. That is a prize worth all this effort. Okay, so I digress. Now we go back to mental moods and health. No, as a cancer patient fighting cancer, you got to make sure you don't fall into depression as well, right? Because then you start giving up, you start feeling down. Now, mental positivity, there's actually a brain chemical reaction. So serotonin is what they call the happy chemical, happy biochemical in your body. Serotonin is produced in your gut, in your stomach. All right, not your stomach, your gut. All right. So having dietary fiber, keeping your gut healthy, makes sure that your mood, okay, your positivity, your ability to hope, your ability to feel that there is hope, there's a good, better tomorrow, has got to do with your gut health. So you may think that this Cleansing Plus is just dietary fiber.
Yeah.
I just go to the CR more often. How critical is that to my fight against cancer? It's very critical. All right, and thank you, Lily. Lily, always so good to have you with us.
Yeah.
Lily is confirming, she's our viewer from Malaysia, that she experiences everything I mentioned: constipation, bloating from chemotherapy, resulting in great discomfort and pain. And what's the impact of that? You feel demoralized. The fight is harder. So on multiple levels, from your mental health to your immune system, to just removing toxins, to feeling more comfortable, Cleansing Plus aids in your fight for cancer. And it does that by being a dietary fiber.
This is actually a very valid question, sir, because, you know, I just talked to one of our cancer patients, and she shared with me her experience with Cleansing Plus and the tablets.
All right.
Wherein, she had this chemo session with her, and she experienced GERD, G-E-R-D.
Oh, yes, all right.
A little bit of acidic. So there's a lot going on when a person is really undergoing chemotherapy, and it's one of them. And what she said is that, she popped in, that's the term, she popped in some tablets, and of course she took in Cleansing Plus at night. And the next day it was like nothing.
Yes, correct, right? So again, that I hope that's a helpful insight for everyone tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's very encouraging. All right, coming from Miss Shek, can I take PPAR's tablets? I am anemic.
Oh yes, that's really good for anemia, right? Because if you're anemic, you lack iron, and there is a corresponding vitamins that you need in order to absorb iron, so that more blood production, right? Higher red blood cell counts. So for anemia, yes, my wife personally, my wife is borderline anemic, has eczema, so she's a long time user of Simply Nature PIPA tablets, and definitely that helps for a long time. Here also is a very interesting thing. She takes PIPA tablets to gain weight. I take PIPA tablets to lose weight because I'm on the heavier side of what I should be, and she's on the lighter side of what she should be. So that again helps all our listeners and viewers, understand. Our PIPA protocols, from the tablets to the extracts, are not a one-way direction protocol. Okay, it doesn't increase. To give a simple example, for blood sugar, managing of your blood sugar. Taking PIPA tablets doesn't lower your blood sugar level. It neither increases your blood sugar level. What it does, it normalizes your blood sugar level. So if your blood sugar level is too high, it brings it down. If it's too low, it brings it up. All right? Because how the PIPA protocol works is to modulate, right? To bring it back to normal function. Okay? So that's why we have protocols for people with lupus. Lupus is when your immune system goes crazy, it attacks your own body cells. So you wouldn't just want to lower your immune system, because then it makes you vulnerable to COVID, to all these diseases around, right? So what you want to do for a lupus patient is help the immune system function correctly. And that's what Simply Nature PIPA protocols does, all right? So for a cancer patient, your immune system is not functioning properly, or if it's functioning properly, it's not functioning optimally. That means it's not at its best performance. And this is where our PIPA protocols work, and it works at the DNA level. It works at an mRNA level. It activates the pathways that control many functions in the body that make up your immune system. So when you say improve my immune system, we say vitamin C, I take vitamin C to boost my immune system. Well, you may be boosting your immune system 4 ways, but your immune system works in 100 ways. So what about the other 96 ways the immune system works? So this is why Dr. Jansen and in lifestyle medicine, they always believe, all right, and they prefer to go the route of plant-based whole food. Because when you eat a vegetable, you don't just have vitamin C. You have hundreds of other nutrients that will activate the other multiple parts of your immune system so that everything works. Okay, so that's one reason the whole approach and to fighting cancer is all about. So yes, the tablets definitely work for anemia as well, because if you're anemic, something is not in balance in your body. Some organ is not working properly. Some biochemical processes are not functioning properly. So this Simply Nature PIPA tablets is able to address a wide spectrum of it. All right. Now, even though I say this, does this mean that you don't need to eat, for example, vitamin C anymore? No, that's not true. Okay. So what I'm just saying is this: if you take your PIPA tablets first, and then you take vitamin C, you're going to see even more results, because you activate your systems to use the vitamin C. So it does probably mean that if you take Simply Nature PIPA tablets, you don't need so much vitamin C. And whatever vitamin C you take, it will actually do more and have more positive effects than just taking your vitamin C. I hope everybody sort of understands where I come from when I answer this way.
Thank you, sir. Actually, it's I'm guessing it's also the same explanation that why people who are taking maintenance medicine are also still continuing on with their medication even on PIPA.
Yeah, that's right? And and you will notice those who are on maintenance meds, if you take PIPAs for about 3 months, you will probably be almost 50% to 90% off your maintenance meds. So what does it mean? It means that we are actually solving the root problem. And the root problem is not one issue. Why does it take 1 month? Why isn't it like a drug? Why doesn't it get solved in 1 hour, for example? Because our body's whole health is a huge number of biochemical functions and many different organs working like an orchestra, different music instruments playing. So if you just focus on making your drums very loud, you're not gonna get music. You're just gonna get drum beats, right? If your flute is out of tune, maybe in the whole orchestra, it doesn't spoil the music, but you realize something is missing. How come we're missing some kind of sound, and that's supposed to come from the flute, right? So this is why if you're on maintenance meds, you are like just focusing on 1 or 2 instruments, and then you really don't feel that you are truly healthy. And then there might be some problems. I think, our viewers tonight, I'm sure, especially some of our viewers might be around my age. When you reach my age, I'm 48, turning 50 in 2 years. It's very common now at my age that when you go for all the blood tests and all the x-ray and all the scans, they say nothing is wrong. But yet you feel uncomfortable, yet you are dizzy, yet you feel pain. And yet when you see the doctor and you do all the diagnostics, they say nothing is wrong, okay? But you know something is wrong because you're not healthy and you know it. So this is where the maintenance meds approach cannot work, all right? Because they can't identify one problem. It's a mixture of small little problems all over the place in different angles that give you that feeling that you're not well. So this is why you want to approach it the way Dr. Jansen approaches it with lifestyle medicine, and the way Simply Nature PIPA protocols is able to help your health.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Sir Sean. Okay. Coming from Miss Lilibeth from the Philippines. Okay, this Miss Lily is from the Philippines. How can PPARs help patients who are on their chemo and radiation?
Okay, very simple. I think Sheila, you are a great example of this. Maybe I will change, instead of answering, let me ask you some questions, right? Okay, so when Dominic, your son, was diagnosed with fourth stage, cancer, right? You were hesitant to go for chemotherapy. Why were you hesitant to go for chemotherapy?
Of course, I knew before the side effects that my son could be experiencing before. So I did run to our integrative doctor, hoping that she'll tell me that,
you don't need to go for chemo, right?
Yeah.
But
I was really hoping.
But instead, she insisted that you go for chemo. But she did say that because Dominic is so weak, what did she say would likely happen to Dominic if he were to go for chemo, which he really needs? What did she say about the prognosis?
I really cannot forget this, because she said that, you should definitely go for chemo, but not chemo alone. You should get something that can barricade the side effects or the complications that might be experiencing by your son, which is Simply Nature PPARs. And the day before the first session of my son, he took the liquid extract, and we always say this here in Simply Nature. We don't say zero side effects. We did experience some of the side effects at the onset, because it was a really hard kick in at the first session. But the next sessions, I was really surprised to see my son that even though the chemo is intravenous in IV, he was playing and he was watching TV. He was sitting down, and I was actually expecting. I even brought tabo. I was expecting him to vomit a little multiple times, but I think that was on the fourth session wherein we were confined, because we were
Yeah, I mean, as I hear you speak this, I am trying to feel and piece together balance the stories and the people that I've met, right? I think many cancer patients are in your shoes. For you, it's your son. They are not feeling well. They're very weak, because I saw Dominic. He was really so thin and so weak before chemotherapy. So there was great fear of going for chemotherapy, and it's true. Your doctor actually advised you that if he needs to go for chemotherapy because the cancer is so serious and is so aggressive. However, the chemo itself will be just as dangerous to Dominic as the cancer itself because he's weak. So in a way, it's like you are damned if you do, you are damned if you don't, right? It's like, if I don't go for chemo, my son will not make it. But if I go for chemo, the chemo might kill him. So it's a terrible, then it looks like chemo is not a solution because it might kill my son. But then you tell me that if I don't go for chemo, my son will survive. So what am I supposed to do? So maybe I don't want to listen to you. I'll go and find another doctor, right? I'll try and go natural. If chemo might kill me, then why should I try that? So it becomes a very difficult position for patients to take. And I think sometimes patients might make the wrong swing to say, I will go natural. But you know, if you are in already the 4th stage, going natural, not that going natural can't work, can. But you know, there are many factors that must go into natural treatment for it to work. For example, you cannot be stressed. All right. So people who go all natural and survive 4th stage cancer most often live in they move out to the countryside. All right. The vegetables you take cannot be from the supermarket. It really has to be vegetables that are free of pesticides, grown organically. The air that you breathe cannot be from Makati. Okay, you gotta move to Sagada, all right?
So much
where you can breathe in clean air. You shouldn't be. No, we have one patient, one client in Simply Nature. When she was going through her 3rd stage breast cancer, she was still the head accountant for her accounting firm. So you can imagine, you know, any of you who know what accountants do during tax season, she was working like crazy in order to afford her medical bills. But you know, she's not gonna win. She can't go natural because she can't let go of her work either. It's part and parcel of who she is, right? And there are many people who depend on her, maybe her staff, her family. So she's in a very difficult position. So is it possible to be healed completely 4th stage cancer with natural? I will tell you, yes, it's possible. But you know, you got to be pretty extreme also. You got to be able to be stress-free. You got to be able to breathe in good air every day. The people around you should be supportive. You know, I know of people who go so extreme that they don't wear polyester.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even the clothes that they wear, they make it like natural cotton. So they really make sure that in their household, where they live in the province, they don't use detergent chemicals in their house. Yeah, if you put all those things together, then going natural, yes, you might be, it's possible. So I won't say it's not possible. So in either case, it's going to be very difficult. If you just use conventional, it's also very difficult. You're weak, the chemo might kill you. If you go natural, it's not easy to live that way. It might not even be possible for many people to live that way, to live so clean, so peaceful, so healthy. So it then makes me feel, and I don't know about our viewers, that what we are offering here, what Dr. Jansen and I are sharing with you is practical. It's like your best chance given what you can do. It's realistic, right? We go for chemotherapy because we know it works, but we are afraid that it might hurt or kill you. But we have Simply Nature PPARs that will protect you from the chemotherapy. So on one side, you have a very powerful conventional medicine. On the other side, you have very powerful natural. And you can sort of still stay in the city, all right? You still live, you don't breathe in fresh Swiss mountain air, all right? But you have very strong lifestyle protocols supported by Simply Nature PPARs to give you that natural edge. And then you have the conventional medicine. And that combined together give you your best practical, something that you can do, a warfare that you can actually fight, right? A strategy that you can actually implement. And I think that's what me and Dr. Jansen is trying to share and encourage everyone here today. That's why we are not pro chemotherapy. Neither are we against 100% natural. What we just don't want to do is, me and Dr. Jansen don't want to be irresponsible, right? Because Simply Nature doesn't supply chemotherapy drugs. Our business is, so why would we want you to spend money on chemotherapy? We would say just buy more Simply Nature PPARs, right? Don't need to go for chemotherapy. No, but we can't say that because Dr. Jansen and I are patient-centric. You know, when I met Dominic, which is Sheila's son, I told myself, you know, I saw how much Sheila loved her son, and it's just a small boy. So maybe because it was your son, Sheila, you know, he touched my heart because he's a kid. He's a kid. He touched my heart and he made me become very, very patient-centric. So I said, even if it's something else, not something that Simply Nature does not supply, if that can help this boy, you know, and help this mom who loves her son so much, then we should do it. I should encourage them, all right? And that's why, as in this Simply Heal program, we come to you and present to you a very balanced view, all right? We are not here to push any ideology. We are very, very practical. We want you to get healed, and we want the best combination that you can have. And sometimes it doesn't even benefit me and Dr. Jansen. For example, when Dr. Jansen encourages you to have surgery, he's not a surgeon, so he's not going to make money from the surgery, right? So, but yet, that's what being patient-centric is. We are concerned, and we believe in what we do, all right?
And I'm very happy, sir, to say that a lot of our patients are actually pleased to hear that, you know, they trust Simply Nature because it's not only backed by science, but yes, they see this beauty in the combination of both worlds that we are suggesting to them. And I think one of the factors that I really learned from Simply Nature during my son's time back then, was to look beyond the treatment.
Yes.
To look beyond.
And I just want all our viewers right now, right? Don't be stuck in an ideology, right? Don't be a person that says, I believe in medicine, or I believe in natural. You know what you should believe in? You should believe in getting well. You know, you are not here to prove that natural works, or that you're here to prove that conventional is scientific. What you're here to achieve is to get well, to beat your cancer. So throw away all these biasness or inclination. You know, when me and Dr. Jansen sit on this program and when we share with you guys, we have to do that also. We have to forget that I'm not here as an advocate for PPARs, right? So when I hear and see new cancer treatment protocols, I will look at it very unbiasedly and try to see, will this help our patients, right? And even if we don't supply it, we will recommend it and we will give you the advice to go, all right? Thankfully, lifestyle medicine is something that is so important in cancer fighting because it's what you do every day. It's what you eat, how you live. And we are also very thankful that Simply Nature PPAR tablets and its extracts are really one of the miracles of nature. It's one of the fundamental things. It's so good that no matter what other protocols you're doing, we definitely still have our place in your big strategy in fighting cancer. So we're always very glad to have you guys here with us. And again, thank you for supporting, coming to listen to me tonight, even though my partner, Dr. Jansen, is not here. All right.
Thank you, Sir Sean. All right. I just want you to know I've always been very grateful, and I'm very happy to be in this position and to be able to help other patients this time. Thank you, Lord, for that. Okay, coming from another question from Ms. Lily. Usually, what are the protocols that you give for late-stage cancers, and how can this protocol help?
Sorry, can you ask? I didn't get the question.
One more time. Usually, what are the protocols that you give for late-stage cancer?
Okay, for late-stage cancer, right? Depending on the type of cancer, one of the questions that often pop up into our minds, me and Dr. Jansen, and when I meet patients, is this: I will ask them what they want. You know, I think normally for a doctor, they only have one thing that they want to do, which is treat the illness. Okay, they want to treat the illness, they want to beat the cancer. Okay, then why would me and Dr. Jansen, especially me, because Dr. Jansen is still a doctor, right? So he is also very driven to beat the cancer as number one priority. However, I'm a bit different. I'm more on the research side and the science part. But also I'm free. I'm free from the normal obligations of a doctor. So my question to patients when I meet them is a little bit different. I will ask them, what do they want? And I think that's a very important question because cancer is life-threatening. So to give you an example, I think my best example for this is my own father. Okay, my father is a 2-time throat cancer survivor, and there was another cancer scare. He had some nodules, and we were concerned that it could be throat cancer coming back again. So obviously I have the best Simply Nature protocols, and I have so many partners and friends who are doctors, and you know, from surgeons to oncologists to lifestyle medicine experts like Dr. Jansen. For sure, there's a wide range of options for me. But what I did to my 74-year-old dad is I asked my dad, "Dad, what do you want?" You know, and my dad gave me an answer that, you know, he doesn't want to fight too hard, that causes him a lot of pain, because he told me, he said, "Son, the best years of my life are behind me." You know, so he smiles when he thinks about his past, about all the achievements he has done. He's done his part. He has his glory days, right? Yes. So as he looked forward, he just wanted not to be in pain. He wanted to enjoy every day to the best that he can. So with that in mind, he told me, "Son, don't spend too much money. Okay, whatever you want to recommend to me, whatever protocols we take, the priority is not to beat cancer. The priority is the quality of my life. Because anyway, even if we beat cancer, at most I'll get another extra, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. He was already 74. So, you know, how many extra years will we add to his life? And if those extra years are spent on the bed, he'd rather not have them." Okay, so now back to the question. How can we help late-stage cancer? Our protocols. Okay, so depending on what you want to achieve. All right, if you're young, late-stage cancer, me and Dr. Jansen will pretty much want to say to you, let's beat this. Let's beat this cancer, okay? But if you are old, like my dad, then we will open the option, what else do you want apart from just beating cancer? Okay, so if you are young, and even if you have late-stage cancer, that's why we will say go for chemotherapy. All right? Why? Because it's one of the most aggressive way you can fight cancer. It really hurts the cancer, but it will really hurt your body as well. But since you're young, we believe you can take it. So what the Simply Nature PIPA protocols will do is do its best, all right, to support you through this aggressive attack on cancer, right? To strengthen you, to protect you from the negative side effects of chemotherapy, from immunotherapy, from radiation therapy, so that you have the best chance of beating this cancer. For that, our protocol will most likely be extract liquid, because that's the strongest. So to give you the strongest support for you to be able to take the strongest chemotherapy that you can, so that you have the best chance of turning the tide and beating your late-stage cancer. Because late-stage cancer, you can't do surgery because it's spread to more than one area. So you're not going to cut up your body every part, right? That's why chemotherapy and targeted therapy is still your best option. All right. And then on the same side, on the lifestyle side, Dr. Jansen will be very strict with you. Don't eat this, don't eat that. Okay. Eat more this, eat more that. But if you're 74-year-old like my dad, you know, and my dad will say, you know, we'll say, okay, you want to eat steak? Right? Dad, if you are comfortable to return to the Lord next month, Okay, you take a lot of Simply Nature people so that you're strong. You want to eat steak every day? Go ahead. You know, our protocol will be there to support you so that you enjoy every day of your life. So again, I hope this answer helps you understand. And to get to this, go for a consult. Go for a consult, and when Dr. Jansen asks you, what do you want? All right, be clear. And we have a wide range of tools and products and protocols to help you achieve what you want. But in everything that we want to do, we just want to say to you, don't give up. Life is still worth living. All right, to get an extra 9 months, 4 months, or to beat the cancer itself, every one of these goals are worth fighting for, and they are worth achieving, and you will not regret it if you make a full attempt. All right, so stay hopeful and choose the right results that you want.
Thank you, sir. All right, so those the questions that we have so far, mostly for cancer patients. We have a question here comes from Ms. She. What are the protocols that you give for suspected cancer stage? Okay,
for suspected cancer, right? There are two things that you should really think about and be concerned. If you have suspected cancer, and if they went to test it and it's like, oh, it's not cancer, hallelujah, praise God, celebrate. Okay, but you should be very concerned. You have something is in your lifestyle and something is lacking in your body, such that a tumor appeared. Thank God that this time it's benign, it's not cancer. Okay, but there's a high chance that if you don't do anything to change your condition, another tumor will appear, and this time it might be cancerous. Okay, so that's why a lot of people ask the question, will my benign tumor, will my harmless tumor ever become cancerous? That tumor itself, probably not, okay, but the next tumor that develops, maybe in another organ, might be cancer, because if you have something in your lifestyle, if you are lacking certain nutrients, your immune system is weak, for example, because you lack certain things, there's a good chance that given a few more years, another tumor will appear, and this time it might be cancer. So what is the protocol that we give for suspected cancer? Number one, what we want to do straight away is so don't wait. Okay, number one, okay, don't wait to take action. All right, so maybe you have scheduled for a biopsy in 1 month. Maybe 3 weeks later, you're going to do a CT scan, and you're just waiting for money to come from your son in the US so that you can pay for your CT scan, for example. Okay, don't wait. Already start to strengthen your body. So just in case it's really cancer and you caught it early, your body is ready to do what? To remove the cancer. If the cancer is very localized, hasn't spread anywhere, just cut it out for surgery, and then after that, just build back your health and you're fine, right? So there are things that you do immediately. So what do you do immediately? Number one, cut out all the things that could cause cancer. All right, so stop eating meat until your diagnosis is confirmed. Okay, so what are you doing? You're basically preparing your body for the worst case scenario, so that in the worst case scenario, you are in the best position to take action to solve it. Okay, now if it turns out it's just a scare, it's not cancer, well, guess what? You just went for 3 weeks of very healthy living, and you're even healthier than you've ever been in your life, right? So there is no downside to this approach. Okay, so what I would say, at a very minimum, go straight for the tablets. Okay, if financially you are strong, I would say go for the soft gel capsules. Why? That will quickly, the soft gel capsules and tablet combination will quickly bring down all your chronic inflammation, which is a major cause for cancer. It will bring down your blood sugar, blood cholesterol. It will help you manage your metabolic syndromes. Is that important? Very important, because the healthier you are, if you don't have diabetes, if you don't have blood cholesterol, if you don't have heart problems, then surgery becomes less problematic. Surgery becomes safer because your body doesn't have all these, what's the term we use in Philippines? Comorbidities. If you remove your comorbidities, then you are prepared for many actions that your doctors can take to heal you in case the diagnosis is that it's cancer. Okay, but if it's not cancer, guess what? You finally got rid of that diabetes in your life. After being borderline diabetes for 20 years, you finally took action and you're now healthy. So again, there is no downside. So the protocol would simply be high amounts of tablets. I would definitely encourage the patient to take 10 micro tablets 3 times a day, all right, until your test results come back. Now, and if you're financially strong, or if you value your health so much, you want to be absolutely safe, I will do a combination of soft gel capsule, 1 soft gel capsule, and 10 micro tablets 2 times a day. All right, so the soft gel capsule sort of takes away the need for the third time of 10 micro tablets, and it's much more powerful. 1 soft gel capsule is approximately 40. It's like taking 40 micro tablets. Then you will say, Shen, if 1 soft gel capsule is equal to 40 micro tablets, why am I still taking the micro tablets? Well, 1 soft gel capsule is equal to 40 micro tablets in its ability to activate your DNA, okay, your DNA pathways. But the soft gel capsule is missing the nutrients. Okay, it's missing the nutrients that once your body's immune system and inflammation modulating systems are activated, you still need your vitamin C, your protein, your phytonutrients to work. So if you just take the soft gel capsules, or you just take the liquid, or you just take the powder extract, you are like a person who started your car engine and there's very little petrol in your car, so you can't go at full speed. Okay, so this is why you want to take the extracts, but always take the tablets. So if you ask me, any cancer patients, the tablets is absolutely necessary, because I can only think of one condition where a patient takes only the extract but not the tablets. Is if you are 100% vegan and you are really eating very, very healthy. And I can say 99.9% of people living in Philippines are not able to achieve that level of healthy living. That's why the tablets is like your safety net. It's the bare minimum to make sure that you have that broad spectrum of nutrients, that whatever protocol from medicine to natural, from chemotherapy to radiation therapy, you have what your body minimally needs to stay strong.
Thank you, sir. I really like what you said. I just want to echo up what you said a while ago about going for biopsy further, because we always get this a lot here, queries here in Simply Nature, wherein I feel something, a lump on my body, and then they stop there. So it's really, really important, just like what Sir Sean said. It's really important to go further, and it's for your peace of mind as well. Right?
I want to share something with everyone, right? This is something that I've been thinking a lot, and since Dr. Jansen is not here, tonight will be half a counseling session as well. But I want to share with everybody that in fighting illness, the mental aspect is equally, if not even more important than the actual therapy. Why? Because right, the patients who take placebo can get healed. Placebo means actually the medicine that they give you is just sugar pills. Okay, but because you believe that it's medicine, your body actually heals. Okay, so I want to say that understanding mentally, intellectually, and emotionally, that battle is at least half, or maybe more than half, the factor to you overcoming cancer. Okay, so for this, I want to say something. Don't make decisions by your feelings. Okay, make decisions based on truth, right? So in order to find out the truth, we have to perceive. That means we have to go and find out, right? And medically, that is done through going for x-ray, going to see a doctor. Don't see your neighbor, see a doctor, okay? Because if you go and see your neighbor, what are you looking for? You are living based on feeling. right? Because your neighbor will not be able to perceive correctly what is true. That's why we go and see doctors. Then after seeing a doctor, why do we need to go for imaging? Why do we need to go for biopsy? Because the doctor is not going to know absolutely the truth. Why? Because he's not Superman with X-ray vision, right? So he's making a very educated diagnosis based on what he can see. But if he can see into your organ, he can diagnose even more accurately. Okay, so that's why when we treat cancer, don't go by feelings. So the moment you feel afraid, know that whatever you want to do because you're afraid, that's wrong. Okay, so if you say, I feel scared, I don't want to go for biopsy, what if it's cancer? Okay, this thinking, wrong. Anything that comes out of your fear is wrong. Okay, and since we are in Philippines, let me quote the holy book. Let me quote the absolute truth in our life, which is the Bible. The Bible says, "For the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, but of faith and a sound mind." Okay, that means clear thinking. The Bible says that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of faith. Faith is what? Faith is hope. And a sound mind, clear thinking. So anytime you don't want to do anything, like Sheila, I'm so scared of chemotherapy, I don't want to do chemotherapy. Wrong, okay? Because what happened? She did send Dominic for chemotherapy with Simply Nature PPARs, and right now, her beloved son is going to school. And it's been, how many years already has Dominic? How old is Dominic now?
He's 8.
He's 8. Okay, I saw Dominic when he was 4 years old, 4th stage cancer. Okay, so he's 8 years old. One more year and he's like past the 5-year mark, right? So her fear, her decision not to go for chemotherapy was based on fear. So anytime we make a decision based on fear, know that it is wrong. So I call Sheila up, call Beth up, ask them to pray for you so that you will have faith and clear thinking, because that will lead to life. Okay, so here's a blanket indication. Sashan, I don't want to try this, I'm scared. Okay, then most likely that decision is wrong. Okay, go and find out more, and then you will live.
May I say, I think that fear is just an onset feeling, but you have to get through that.
Yes, you have to get through that, right? You have to get through that. So that's why Dr. Jansen and Sheila and Beth and all our CROs and healthcare specialists from Simply Heal, Dr. Jansen's medical clinic, all right? We are all so full of faith, and we make sure that we encourage you, but not just based on positive. We're not just positive because we are positive. We are positive because we clearly know that there is a way. There is a way that you will get better. There's a way for you to really go and try and achieve the goal that you want for your health, your fight in cancer. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I think this will be our last question for tonight. For those questions you were not going to be able to answer today, don't worry, we'll get in touch with you. All right. Can someone be immune with PPARs?
Are you saying that is it possible that someone's body that the PPARs won't work on the person? The answer is theoretically no. Okay, do I know absolutely? No, basically the mode of action, the answer is no. Okay. Is it possible that PPARs doesn't have the desired effect, okay, that you want? So, for example, you have cancer. You take PPARs. Your cancer tumors are not shrinking. Okay, does it mean that PPARs doesn't work on you? No. Your metabolic syndromes, your blood sugar, your blood cholesterol is coming down. But the result that you want, the one that you're very focused on, which is your cancer tumor, is not shrinking. So does it mean that PPARs doesn't work on you? No. It is working on you on other aspects. Now, there are a few possible reasons why the PPARs not working for your cancer tumor. Yes, it's bringing your blood sugar level down, bringing your blood cholesterol down, helping with the inflammation so that your cancer doesn't get worse. or slow down the growth of your cancer, but it's not actually shrinking your cancer tumor. So you say, oh, I'm not responding to PPARs. No. You are responding to PPARs. There are many aspects of your health that is actually improving. But in one of our upcoming videos, Dr. Jansen will talk about Jack. What's it? Jack. It's a DNA term. I'm sorry. Next week I'll get Dr. Jansen to talk about this. But anyway, he talked about it. Basically, this particular receptor is blocked. So what happens is that, for example, you go to a golf course, 18-hole golf course, but imagine the golf hole has a lid. So no matter how you cannot, if 10 of the holes out of the 18 holes they put a lid on it, the ball can't go in, right? Yeah, so that could be your situation, and this one is actually for breast cancer. So here's the very amazing thing, guys. To open the lid for the natural PPARs to help you fight cancer, guess what is one of the solutions?
What?
Chemotherapy. One of the chemotherapy drugs, all right, I think it's the platinum-based one, will actually help to open the lid. So it's so amazing. This time round is the other way round. If you want to go all natural and the all natural is not working, you actually need a chemotherapy to open up the pathway so that your natural therapy will work. Normally it's the reverse, right? We are going for chemotherapy and we're using the natural to protect your body. But in this particular case, right, the chemotherapy drug actually opens up what is blocking the receptors, and then the natural PPARs will actually work to treat your cancer. So that's interesting. So again, I say you are fighting for life. Don't be distracted to become an advocate. When you fight cancer, you're not an advocate, okay? You are a warrior. You fight to win the war, not to prove whether natural is correct or conventional is correct. All right, be very clear where what you're fighting. You're not fighting for the natural herbalist. Neither are you fighting to prove that oncologists are correct. You have only one thing you want to fight. You want to fight and beat cancer. So go into every situation looking at it this way. So you'll be surprised, right? Here is a very good example where the conventional chemotherapy is used to support the natural therapy. So back to a more concrete answer to you is no. The PPAR protocol should work for everyone. Okay, if it's not working, there is probably a reason, and if there's a reason, there is a solution. So if you are just taking PPARs and you're not getting the best result or the result that you want to see, go for a consult so that we can find out what is stopping the PPARs from working the way it should be working in your life.
Couldn't agree more. I'm very positive when you said that you are not an advocate when you're fighting cancer. And what's good about it is really funny because you get to have that good relationship whether it's with your conventional doctor or with your integrative doctor. You get that special kind of relationship with both of them because they are both happy seeing you improve.
Yeah, that's the truth, right? For Sheila, your uncle is very happy because Dominic did well. Your integrative doctor is also very happy because Dominic did well. So both sides are happy, not because they are proven correct. They are happy because Dominic, a 4-year-old kid, is doing well. And so again, on Simply Healed, I urge you, as Sheila said, that was the last question. Any more questions, Sheila, before I give my parting words for tonight?
All right, let me just check that one. Oh, wait. Oh, another one question. What is the best milk for patients who have cancer?
Oh, best milk for patients who have cancer, drink soy milk. Okay, but okay. I'm not gonna say brands because I don't want to badmouth any brands. Okay, wait.
Not paid.
Okay, if you drink soy milk that's so sweet, oh, so tasty. This is as delicious as Coca-Cola. No, that's the wrong milk. Okay, remember the normal milk that you drink is not sweet. right? Unless you're drinking chocolate milk, all right, or strawberry milk, but you shouldn't be, right? I think so. Basically, if you're gonna find a suitable milk for cancer patients, is plant-based milks. So you have your oat milk, you have your almond milk, you have your soy milk. Now, what you do is that choose the unsweetened one. Okay? Usually original flavor means with sugar, okay? So you have to look for the non-original unsweetened one, okay? And don't forget, right? When you originally drink plain milk, it's not sweet also. So when you drink your almond milk, don't go for the sweet one. When you drink your soy milk, don't go for the sweet one. Because sugar feeds cancer, okay? Sugar feeds cancer. Of course, your body needs sugar to function, but you get enough of that from the foods that you eat. You don't need to add it in the milk that you drink, all right? In the plant-based milk that you drink.
Yeah, it's very helpful. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so my last words. I
Yes.
think tonight, I hope you learned a lot from the leukemia thing that we talked about today, a bit more in-depth than last week. But the key thing to learn over there is that we really learn about our blood, right? We really learn that your immune system is dependent on your bone marrow because it produces red blood cells and white blood cells. Both of these blood cells are basically, well, funnily enough, they are the backbone of your immune system. Without them, you have no immune system. And we realize that what's the problem in leukemia is that your blood cells don't mature properly, and that's cancer. Now, that also helps us understand in the treatment of so many other types of illnesses. How well is your blood cells maturing, right? If they mature properly, then you will have very strong immune system. So in dengue fever, why does your white blood cell count drop? It is affecting the production of white blood cells. So what is the production of white blood cells? You can create the blood cell, but if the blood cell doesn't mature properly, you still have low white blood cell count. So here is where Simply Nature PPARs, PPAR agonists actually help cells to mature properly. So even if you don't have cancer, now you know why I don't have cancer. Why do I take PPAR tablets for the last 20 over years in my life? Because it helps my blood cells mature properly. I have a stronger immune system. Okay, so I think from the video, from the recording, this is what I hope everyone has learned and understood today. The other thing that I wanted to stress today is here on Simply Healed, we are not an advocate for natural or conventional. We are an advocate for the best option for you to fight cancer. So I give you my assurance that we will always try. Okay, we are still humans. Maybe sometimes subconsciously we have our biasness, but we will definitely try to be patient-centric, to remember everything that we discuss, right, and advise is to give you a better fighting chance. It's not an opportunity for us to push what we believe, right? It is very important for Dr. Jansen and I to let you know that our approach, and we hope that you also join us in looking at it this way, so that when we share something that is not it's not what you believe, not what you wanted, like Sheila went to see an integrative doctor. Why are you asking me to do chemotherapy? But the answer is today her son is healthy and cancer free, right? So that's why I want to encourage all our viewers. When you come in to watch Simply Healed tonight, maybe you were expecting us to tell you one thing and we're telling you something else. I just want you to be open-minded and to apply yourself, to really think about it, because where me and Dr. Jansen are coming from, we are not advocating our beliefs. We are doing our best to present to you the best option that is practical, that is realistic, that you can actually do, that will give you the best fighting chance to beat your cancer. So with that, everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. Next week, Dr. Jansen will be finally back and we'll answer more medical questions, but stay healthy and be blessed.
Thank you so much, Sir Sean. It's very encouraging and very, very heartfelt. Thank you. All right. I just want, of course, to invite everybody. Today is the part 2. Next week will be the part 3 of our blood cancer series. That next week will be entitled "Managing Severe Leukemia."
Oh wow! That will be a good hint on how to manage serious cancer too. All right,
Exactly.
because
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Dr. Jansen, we miss you. See you next week as well.
Okay.
Keep your questions coming, so because we are going to answer a lot of questions next week, most especially the medical ones. Also, tomorrow, once again, September 30, it's payday weekend. There you go. So make sure that you are, not only you, but of course your whole family has this boosted immune system always. All right, most especially the kids. Okay. All right. So once again, here in Simply Nature, your curiosity about your health conditions, and also, of course, most importantly, your victories over cancer is what keeps us going here. Because here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from start to healing. Thank you, everyone. See you once again. Good night, and God bless you all.